Hello.
Hello.
I could hear you. Very quiet right before we start. I was like, was she knocking on the screen to get in?
Out and finger hit the screen for a second, about the computer for a second.
Yeah.
Froze up, and I'm like, no. Don't do that. I think my hands can fix it.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. I got to show you this.
Oh.
We can have some Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Hi, Deborah. Happy New Year, sweetheart. Absolutely. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Yes, I thought that was a cool little widget that's available in our little thing. I'll leave it for a few minutes. We'll let it see if it accumulates.
Oh, that would be cool. So it doesn't have an accumulation factor feature in it.
That's what they do need. They need like a little thing where it starts building up. Then have a little plow come through.
They've got a feedback. You can give them that.
Yeah.
Guys, you need an accumulation factor at the bottom of the screen. This is really cool. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's very subtle, not too imposing. So we'll leave that up for a minute and yeah, I'm oh, one hit my nose. I gotta put my glasses on.
Yes. Once again, got some in your eyelashes.
Oh gosh. We are punchy tonight, aren't we?
Absolutely. Of course, that's going to be the few seconds of outtake that the YouTube will pick up on.
Yeah.
Sitting around with her sticking her tongues out and flapping her eyes.
Oh Lord.
It's always good.
Yeah, so as people start joining us, we are excited to have people here. We want to remind everybody, put a reminder here that to please like, follow, or subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, or iTunes. And word is spreading, so the more you can help us grow and spread the information and share with your friends, the more it'll help us and the more we get more people in here. And speaking of people, we love having our returnees come back because we love the people that we know and see again and again, but we also love seeing new people join us. Yeah. Love seeing new people join us too. So and regardless of where you are on your journey, no question is too dumb or too, I won't ask that. Yeah, or I'm not worthy. No, everybody's worthy. Everybody has a voice here. So if you have questions, if you have comments, put them in the
over there in the chat room.
Yeah, in the chat room.
Or the comment bars, depending on if you're Facebook or YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll, like we know that the Facebook people can't see the YouTube comments, so we'll read those and share them and then respond as we can. So tonight's adventure is on manifesting. You hear more and more people talk about manifesting, and so we're going to explore it and what people do right and what people do wrong and what we've experienced. And it's a new year, and with the calendar change, and we're just coming off of the solstice, so there's still a lot of energy as we're going into a new year. It's a great time to pull from that energy.
Yes.
So do let us know, though, if you're here. Say hello. Give us a shout
Always.
out.
Say something on chat. Let us know you're here. And it's a full moon out there tonight, and it was, I think, yesterday too.
Yeah.
But we're looking at full moon, so Tons of cool, funky energy going on right now out in nature.
Yes, yes.
It's kind of cool having
The
friends
planets were aligned, and there's still
they're
stuff
doing
for
their
that.
galactic beams and love and energy rays coming right at us. And a lot of us are experiencing, hi, Heather Hilton. Hey, experiencing the, shall we say, interesting fallout, no pun intended,
We
from
have
all
snow
these
for that. No, maybe
shifts.
I should stop the snow for fallout. Uh, we do have um uh oh spoke. I love this. She spoke. Heather says, "I spoke to the moon last night. It was
Oh,
beautiful." Yes,
it
yes.
was. Hi, Angela Noel.
Hello.
The moon fascinates the heck out of me too. I
Every
spend
time I go outside, the first thing I do is I'm looking up. I'm a sky watcher. How are the clouds doing? What the weather
I,
doing?
do you talk to the moon? Because I know I do.
I never really thought about it.
I talk to the moon. I mean, it. Well, quite frankly, the moon started it. She started it, dang nabbit. I can hear it, but in an ethereal, intuitive sense. Just to be clear,
Yeah.
but the
You're
moon
not out there
talks.
just talking out loud and the neighbors
Yes,
wondering
I
what.
am.
Oh, are
Yes,
you?
I am. Oh yeah. The moon started it intuitively, and I actually stand there and talk back. I probably, hey Janine, I should probably be a little more specific. Basically, listening to the moon is a lot like listening to disembodied spirits and so on. And she talks about how she loves and what she thinks is beautiful, and she sends gratitude and she asks for gratitude, and she gives a lot of advice. Be patient. We love you. It's okay. This is a quiet time. This is a busy time. This is, um, you're okay. I'm doing good. Uh, the rest of the world can see me now too. Aren't I beautiful? She is very vain, but I mean that in a good way because it's very beautiful. And the ethereal energy of the other beings that are associated to the moon also speak through her. So there's more than one voice coming out of
I
that. So
never thought about that. I guess I just haven't been listening. I mean, I get the energy, definitely.
oh yeah, you would.
But I just
Iona Sakalakos, it looks like. I can say Ioana better.
yeah.
My E. I'm a skywatcher too, but never had a label for it. Well, Yoga Mai, you don't need a label for starters. You don't need a label, but yeah, it helps when in conversation. But yeah, Skywatcher is when Moon spoke to the moon is something Heather Hilton. So maybe a moon speaker.
Mm.
Ooh, isn't that
Moon.
intriguing?
What do you call it? Moon whisperer.
Ooh, even better. I like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Kiana,
So
call yourself a moon whisperer, Swinny, or a sky whisperer. Yeah,
yeah.
I like that. I'm listed as the wedding whisperer in advice columns that I used to write. So
Oh, neat.
yeah, run with it, run with it.
Whisperer is cool. It's you got dog whisperer.
Yeah.
So manifesting. Well, one of the
Yes.
things I'm gonna go ahead and show this one straight up because I think this is so funny. When the universe is throwing at you so many synchronicities, you're not sure if you're going crazy or becoming more enlightened.
That would be this week, especially.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I can definitely relate to that.
Woo.
And that's where a lot of people don't recognize that yeah, it's cute kitty. They don't recognize that they've got more power. And so
Oh,
they go, "Oh, is this a synchronicity? Is it synchronicity? Is it coincidence?"
Mm-mm.
What is it? And when you start recognizing things for what they are,
Mm,
it comes even better.
faster and smoother. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so that's some of the, and some people might feel like this, me waiting for something to manifest. It's been 84 years. Yes, Rose, we know.
Titanic Road, baby.
Yeah, the Titanic went down and she was on the door.
Yeah. And no one else.
Yeah.
There was room for both of them. Hello, but that's a whole
Yeah.
nother discussion.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes I feel that way.
But when you we are all powerful beings and
Very.
should recognize our abilities and what we can do and the energy. I mean, if you have ever walked into a room and said you could cut the air with a knife, or I knew something was wrong, they had been in a fight before I even
Before they
got
spoke.
into the room. Yeah, those kinds of things, that is the tangible energy that we give off and that we receive. And it's the same kind of energy that we put out when we're trying to manifest, or when we're,
Yeah.
and the law of attraction, whatever you want to call it.
The secret, right?
Yeah. And so if you can recognize one thing, you have to recognize the other because it's all the same. It's
They're
not
all
like you
true.
can
Right.
categorize, oh, well, yeah, well, that's just because they've been fighting and, they put that energy out there. And you think that's the only time they put out energy?
Right, right. That's actually just renaming the exact same obvious. Right.
Exactly, exactly.
Right.
So,
That's a good way to.
um, yeah. So then there are things that we do that when you put out energy that you want something, or that you have a particular desire, or you want to bring something into your life, if you start trying to dictate the how and the exactness of it, and you've even given me good talks on that, Margot, and reminded me, what if what you're asking for can be done in a better way and
Right.
even bigger than what, oh, I need money. I got to pay this bill. Well, guess what? That's exactly what's going to come to you. Whereas if you ask for abundance, or you ask for, an endless supply,
Right.
you
Right.
know, then your rich uncle will die and leave you $1 million.
One that you didn't like in the first place. Right.
Right, yeah, no. Yeah, the unknown.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't want to put that energy out there, but you get what I'm saying. And it's like, because sometimes I'll mention to you things that I've had visions of, or things that I want, and I'm going, yeah, I really want that, but there might be something better out. And when you start putting limitations on it, then it's
That's when you
not
run into
going to.
problems. Yeah.
Right. And so, um, and so you have to kind of let go of the how and the exactness of it, and when you're putting that energy out there. Um,
It has to do with just to elaborate, because that's actually a very important point that you're stepping on. Um, it has to putting it out there. The problem that a lot of people do or have, and they're not aware of it, and they end up with a failed situation or a less than stellar situation, is they run into the habit of saying it over and over and over and over. And they don't realize that you actually put it out there once. You say it, manifest it, ritual, whatever way you're going to manifest, but you do it once and then stop and don't ever mention it again, because that has to do with manifesting. It has to do with trust. Obviously, trust issues is something we all have at some level, but it has to do with trust. When you repeat a request over and over and over, the universe gets the message that you are trying to manifest wanting something to happen, not it actually happening. So it keeps you in a state of want, and you are manifesting that state. And it's self-fulfilling prophecy is what happens. So the trick is once and then drop it and don't say it again.
And it also sort of resets them, because it's like you say, I
Problem.
want
Yeah.
this. When am I going to get that? I really need this. Bring it now. And it's like, what they're kind of they're resetting, because it's,
Because
you know,
you're remanifesting over and over and over.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
One
kind
of
of,
my one of my favorite quotes that I heard that's comedic as all get out, but it's got a lot of truth to it, is God hates prayers with claw marks.
that is very true. That is very true.
Think about the visual for how that would happen. What's a prayer with a claw mark on it? Ah, but and then there's this cat. But how about but not this way. God
Mm-mm.
hates prayers that have claw marks on them.
There was a story I heard about firsthand, where this person was needed a liver transplant. And so the family around this person was like, everybody pray, he needs a new liver. And they got him, and he had a liver transplant. And everybody, oh, the prayers worked. Well, the liver failed.
Okay.
And then it was, we got to pray. He's got to have a new one. Darn if he didn't get another one. But
Which is
by the
rare.
time it was time for the third liver, he was like, I'm done. I'm tired of this life. I'm ready to go. And it was that struggle of the people who, his family and friends, that didn't want to let him go. They were praying for and manifesting these livers for him when he didn't want them. And
Yeah.
so when you pray for other people, you don't pray for exactly what they need, because you don't know what they need. You can't
You're
see the
talking
bigger
about
picture.
you're talking about pushing on free will now,
Yeah,
which is a big discussion inside of manifesting. How much am I affecting free will, especially of others? And
right.
yeah, unless they ask you personally to pray for them, yeah, it's you're possibly stepping on some free will there, which is
And
considered
I think even if they
cosmic
ask,
no-no. Yeah,
sometimes I think
it's a
when people
no-no.
ask for prayers,
That's
ask for his healing, or ask for, that's
that's
even.
different than praying for
But what if
for
they don't
humanity.
understand? What you need to do is ask for what's in their highest and best.
Da-da-da. That's it. Ask for their highest good and not define what that looks like.
Right. Because just because you want them around doesn't mean that it's
That
not
they
time
need
for
to
them
be.
to go. It might be
Right.
their time to go. And when it's somebody's time to go, let them go with grace and ease, and in the best way possible, and what's in their best way. Don't put demands on them staying around, because you don't know what that's going to look like. And let's see, we've got a comment here.
Throw it
Uh,
up there.
Joanna says, wow, I never thought of manifesting in a state of want, and the claw marks too. But what if you repeat it like a mantra? So you're trying to create positive grooves in the brain, like patterning. Sometimes I repeat to get in the feeling of it, because I'm aware my energy doesn't match what I'm asking for.
All right. There's a difference between repeating it for yourself and your own brain's repatterning. Oh, that's good. God, I speak English, or you would think I don't. Repatterning. That word. Um, that's not praying. That's chanting mantra, self-talk to you. That's to yourself. And that's an excellent point. I'm glad you brought that. I'm just going to call her Sky Whisper. Sky Whisper, you brought that. I'm glad you brought that up. Who are you talking to when you manifest? Obviously, talking to yourself is a great way to manifest, because you are powerful, sacred beings, which is what that's good. Iris mentioned in the beginning. We don't know how powerful we are. However, what you're describing, Sky Whisper, is talking about talking to yourself. We're actually addressing when you talk to the universe. Amy has an essay comment as well. Iris, can you bring that to us?
I can't. If I bring it up, it's going to chop it off. But
No, it's okay. You can read it to
wait,
us.
not Heather's. Yeah. But it's. I actually drew a picture of the current house I'm living in when I was 10 years old. I make a vision board every year at this time. I put it out there and forget about it until normally a year later, everything comes to me at some point. The universe is like a Sears catalog. Just set the intent and leave it. Also, my puppy picked up a scratch ticket on our walk the other day. It was unscratched. I went home and scratched and won $50. I continued all day long, and at the end of the day, I walked away with $150 as I continued to something on all day long.
Continued to Okie on as I continued to okay on all day long. Amy, you're going to have to clarify what that is.
Yeah, but I'm grateful to attract things towards me and don't know how I do it, but it just comes to me.
Right.
And yeah, and that's part of it too. You put it out there and let it be. And one of the things that some people do is kind of what Amy describes, like the vision board or whatever.
Yeah.
One sort of ritual that I've been taught is you write down on you write down all your things that you want to bring into your life for the new year.
Yeah.
And on New Year's Eve, read it, fold it up, put it in an envelope, and tuck it away where you'll find it a year later, or know where it is. But just leave it and forget what's there. Then the next year, New Year's Eve, you pull that out and you review, what did I get, what and oh, I'm sorry, and I forgot also. What you do is you put a copy in an envelope and put it away. You take the original and burn it. So that the ashes go to the wind.
The energy,
And you handwrite it. You don't type up the list. Handwrite it. The handwriting is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Feel it in your. So you burn the original, keep a copy, put it away. So then when you take that out then you can look at it and review what happened the next year. And then you can throw that away and do this writing and burning of your new list. So
the burning, the writing, creating, burning. There's some pagan based rituals that I've done with friends that were more versed than I was, especially at the time. Matter of fact, it was Courtney. I was releasing an old relationship, an old boyfriend, that the energy was not leaving me as cleanly as it should have. And we did. She coached me through black thread wrapped around a certain colored candle, and it was a small candle, but with the intention of binding the what I want to get rid of, binding it to the candle. Said a few words, put some energy on it, all that good stuff. She built a fire in her backyard, a little campfire in her backyard, threw the candle in, boom. I didn't think about him. I didn't care about him. I met my first husband shortly after, totally different guy, obviously, and on and on and on and on. And Courtney, even while she was building the fire, she looked at me and she said, "You've already started to let go, haven't you?" I said, "Yeah, just the intention of what we were doing was already starting to manifest, and you could actually feel it." So yeah, burning stuff, it goes a long way. I still indulge in that once in a while when I really want something to move fast. Right now, I have a 7-day. Yeah, David and I have a 7-day candle burning for the whole cosmos to evolve.
Oh,
we lit
nice.
on December 21, and when it burned out, the next candle, we bought like 6 candles to go for weeks and weeks. So we have a prayer candle going all the time. Don't talk about it, don't touch it, but every now and then, I'm a Reiki master teacher. by trade, by training, and by long time intuition. Every now and then I throw some Reiki at the candle, but otherwise we don't mess with it. Just let it do its thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love fire.
Something else.
Fire.
Yeah. Something else that I've been taught with a manifesting is that there should be a purpose behind what you're asking for. In that, how is it going to serve you, and how is it going to help you in proceeding with your journey and purpose in this life? And if you put them together, that's going to be much more productive. In other words, you can say, "Oh, I want a really nice house." Well, okay, that's fine, but how is that going to help you for meet your divine timing goals? And so if you say, "I want a really nice house so that I've got room for an office where I can do my work and that I've got space to relax in between doing my," then there's a purpose behind it. And it's like, oh, okay. I mean, it doesn't mean that, oh, you're just supposed to go, "Please, sir, can I have more?" No, it's not, you're not Oliver, but it's, how is this going to serve you? If you want a swimming pool in your backyard and you're just asking for a swimming pool, well, okay, but how is that going to serve you? I need a swimming pool to relax and to exercise and to keep my body in shape.
And meditate and yeah.
Yeah,
Get
then
right.
bam, it's going to come to you a lot quicker.
I think, in my opinion, that has to do with your calling in more and more supportive energies to support your
Ah,
cause by being more and more specific. Because remember, you're discussing this once, so you flesh out that once so that you can release into the universe with a whole bunch of substance and energy behind it.
and you also want to recognize when you're asking for that swimming pool, I need a swimming pool in my backyard. That might mean that a new house comes up for you.
Yeah, because
It might not be that, oh, you get built. Yeah, yeah. It's. Oh, you mean I can move and get what I want? Okay, cool. You have to be open to the ways that it's brought to you.
I've seen a
So
lot of people sabotage the heck out of their manifesting because they
yes,
were open to the way it showed up. By the way, Annabelle, thank you. Happy New Year to you too.
yes.
And a good example would be a friend of mine long ago was looking for the man who would be the love of her life, her soulmate, and whatever. And she worked really hard on a vision board and making herself available socially and all this other good stuff. And I talked to her a few months later, "How's it going?" And she said, "Well, I don't think I've met him. I don't have a boyfriend, but I've met a lot of interesting guys." I'm like, "Tell me about it." And she had actually met the perfect guy 2 or 3 times, but because he wasn't the right race, or that one was overweight, or this one was a Christian and she's a Muslim, and even though she was open minded, and little things like that that can socially be navigated, she was passing by on her manifestation and thought her manifestation wasn't coming to fruition when actually it had a few times. But
Yes.
she wasn't open to the whole vehicle that was going to bring it to her. So I don't know whatever happened to her, but that's an interesting example of, yeah, being a little too narrow when you need to open up. Yeah.
My that reminds me when my something happened and I can't remember, I know my sister's watching, so if you remember what triggered it, but something happened to her. And
Okay.
I said, and she was telling me, and I said, "Well, congratulations, you manifested that." And
Yeah.
she's like, "Oh my God, I did, didn't I?" And I was like, "Yes." And so she was telling her husband about it. Well, her husband, it's like a bunch of woohoo crap, yeah. And and but he was looking at his calendar and he had an appointment coming up the next afternoon. And he said it would be so much easier if that appointment was in the morning. He said, but it's going to be hard to get anything changed now. About 30 minutes later, he got a phone call.
Ding.
Can you come in the morning instead of in the afternoon for your appointment? And he's like, yeah. And when he hung up the phone and was telling my sister, she goes, ta-da, you just manifested that. And he's like, I did not. And so he said, if this manifesting is real, he knew I was coming for a visit, flying to Portland, into the Portland airport to visit them. And he said, let's see your sister get a fast pass on the fast boarding pass for the plane, which is one of those things that it's randomly done. And it's usually done if you fly not a lot, which I don't. I hadn't flown in years. But I got my ticket printed out at home, to take in. And I wrote my sister and I said, guess what? I got one of those passes. So tell him it's real. And she, yeah. Then what I did was I manifested it for the return flight too. And I let it, and I was like, double my luck.
You should have been lottery tickets about then.
So it happened twice. Even my sister was impressed because she said, that never happens to me. So yeah, I just walked right through the boarding area and was just happy as a peanut and proved him that it's true.
Here at the beach, we say happy as a seagull with a cupcake.
Oh, that's a good one.
I like that one. That is. So we got two things that our Sky Whisperer brought about manifesting, talking about stuff that's as if it's already in the present and the social implications of talking and speaking that way. I also wanted to bring up the point, if we can circle back around to people who are natural manifestors in our culture. On Earth, they tend to be elementals or related to elementals.
Okay, so why don't you explain that a little bit for those who might not be familiar?
Absolutely. An elemental is any being that comes from the magic world of magic, such as fairies, pixies, elves, mermaids, dragons, trolls, sprites, water sprites, tree sprites, wood sprites, those kinds of creatures or beings. Things that are related to them that have similar powers are typically wizards and shamans and witches, warlocks, although those are the antiquated terms. And dragons tend to fall under that banner as well. But these are all called elementals because they come, their attachment to the universe, their source of energy in the universe tends to come from the elements, fire, water, earth, air, and sometimes people classify metal or stone as separate elements, but that's a whole nother discussion. Those are elementals inherently have really high instinctive automatic ability to manifest. They can speak things into manifesting. They can think things into manifesting without a lot of effort, traditionally. And so people like your sister and apparently her husband, like attract likes, I would characterize both of them, especially since they're doing it so spontaneously, and you as well. Obviously, your sister, your name is Iris, fairy kingdom right here, magic kingdom left and freaking right. You guys are a bunch of natural manifestors. Now, what's cool is you can manifest for other people as well as yourself. So you can manifest on behalf of other people. So it's not unusual for people to ask you for favors because they know Iris or Deborah can make it happen. Yeah,
Hmm.
you are. You're a maven. Think about your occupation and your professional and your personal life. You are very much the go-to guy. If you need an introduction, if you need a job, she's made. Ours now has she always has a job doing that for a college, people with resumes and job seeking and resume help. If people need information, if people need to know where to research things, where to get props, where to get filming, where to get musicians, where to get directors, where to get techno equipment, where to go online for specific research information, you know who to ask, and it ain't Ghostbusters. Now, if you want to know where to get a witch or a reading or a supernatural person or or something with abilities, you can ask me and I'll help you. But if you want resources and information, this one knows where to go get it, or she knows where to go to find the people who can go get it. So you guys, yeah, you're natural manifestors, and typically, yeah, you're elementals, or at least partly elemental. If you audience, if
Elementary,
you
my dear.
and now you know where that came from. Got a little bit of cool semantics history. But guys, I mean, the audience, if you guys want to ask more about elementals and what they are and what they do and what other types, there's angelics out there, there's starseed and out there and all that good stuff, feel free to ask us.
Yeah.
That's one of the
I'll
perks
tell you where to go find out more information.
Harris.
Speaking of, I got to show this one. Manifestation level expert, bunny with a carrot.
Who's in the middle of that design? A little bunny rabbit that's in the nature world who's a magic creature. The white rabbit. Hello, white rabbit. Wonderland and euphemisms all attached to that for the past several months. Yes, the classic manifestation of the white rabbit. And that is definitely expert level.
Carrot, anybody?
Anybody need a carrot? Absolutely.
Okay, so going back. Hello, later, Rival, Lisa Clark. Yes.
Yay! Hi, Lisa. And Iris, that's a great niche service. Absolutely, it is.
Thank you.
But let's talk about that. What about speaking? To manifest, it's often recommended to speak as if it exists right now. Did you want to address that?
Well, I know that I've heard the same thing. Like, you don't want to say, I need something, because what gets hurt is that you need. So you want to need, we're going to put you in need.
Right.
Right. And so a lot of times I'll say, somebody will tell me something and I'll say, oh, I didn't know that. Or instead, now what I do is, thank you for reminding me. Because we already know, we have access to knowledge. So, recognizing and giving thanks for what you already have, and then putting the word out. And so you don't want to, I think it would be unwise to say, I'm going to manifest $1,000, and then you put yourself $1,000 in debt. Nobody wants to do that. Just like I'm going to manifest that I can jump off this cliff and survive. No.
This is not what we advise. Yeah.
No,
right.
no. But, I think part of it is, if you put it away, like you put it out there and then get it out of your mind, you don't have to worry about speaking like it is in your life. Yeah, because if you speak that it is in your life, then you're confusing the cosmos. And well, if you've got it, why do you want it? Why are you manifesting?
You need to be asking for more.
Yeah.
Which is, by the way, another rollout a good segue to what you're talking about is once something does manifest, if you're enjoying it, ask for more. And don't let your worthiness issues or deservedness issues get in the way. If
Right.
you manifest something, if you manifest a car, if you manifest a good job, if you manifest a great friend or a partner or a new kitchen knife that cuts better than the dull ones you have or whatever, ask for say thank you. Definitely throw out gratitudes because that's the universe's way of getting feedback that they
It's a
did it right.
barometer. Yeah.
Yes, yes, it's a yardstick and a barometer. The next thing is thank you. Can I have another?
Do you know
And
what? I've got a good don't do story that
oh, good. Okay.
works for me with that very same thought in mind. This was many years ago. I was in college at Guilford College, full time, living on campus with my family, and I had just signed up to take 16 hours in a semester, and I was working 8 to 5 Monday through Friday, and had two small children under the age of 10. So I was really under pressure that semester. So, but that in January 1st, my husband and I sat down and had a talk and decided we were going to split. So I went ahead and he's looking for another place, and we're going through that mess. By the 1st of February, or right in that time, he found a place and was moving out. And I was like, geez, this is rough. But hey, if I can get through school and I can get through this period of my divorce, what else? How much worse could it be? My dad
Yeah.
went in the hospital and had brain surgery.
Oh boy.
So he was in the hospital, and I'm thinking, this is another layer of stress, but hey, I was trying to be positive, and I was like, so what else could happen? If I can handle this, totaled my car.
Bless your heart.
As
You
I,
naive fool.
I
You
was like,
elementals sometimes
yeah,
have no idea how good
yeah.
you are at manifesting.
I sat down and I was thinking, God, work full time, school 16 hours of, a semester hours, the kids, the car, my dad, the divorce. And I went, what else? And all of a sudden it hit me. And I was like, no more. No more. That's
Erase,
it was like
delete,
it hit me like a
cancel.
thunderbolt. That's enough. I'm not asking for any more. I'm done.
I learned that phrase from Marie Anderson Whitehurst. Erase, delete, cancel when you say or hear or think something that you don't want. Erase, because
Yes.
the universe understands, it doesn't understand no and not and never. It doesn't understand
I
those,
do
but it does
cancel
understand.
clear.
Yeah, cancel, clear, erase, delete. It understands those things.
Yeah.
So we have some interesting stuff on the questions here. I don't know how to manifest. And and Lisa said, bless you, when you're talking about your dad. And then your sister said, is there a difference between a premonition versus manifesting? Yes, there is a difference. Big one too. Lisa, Clark's question, I don't know how to manifest. There are literally thousands of ways to manifest. Iris, if we could start with that question, I guess, could you describe a couple of ways that we've mentioned a few. Vision boards are popular and very powerful.
And making the list on New Year's Eve and then burning
Yes.
it.
Yes.
Um, Manifesting, when you say manifesting, generally it is quiet for especially for somebody who's not sure what they're doing, get your mind quiet. Sit still. I recommend grounding yourself. And when I ground myself, my way is, and I'll do this with everybody and just kind of I'll walk you through what I do.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
I
please.
I close my eyes and I kind of imagine myself in my heart space or my heart chakra. And I quiet my breathing and I imagine that energy going down, and I feel it going down my legs, down and to the bottoms of my feet, and through the floor, the building, whatever I'm in, and down into the earth. And
Mm,
I go deep into the earth and I pass layers of rock and
water,
earth and
water.
clay and minerals and water and and just keep going until I imagine myself at the core where I feel the warmth and the vitality, and
Ooh,
then pull that energy back up. And sometimes when I'm doing this I can actually smell the dirt. It's
yeah,
really cool. And I
yeah.
pull myself back up through, and I'm pulling that energy with me and pull it all the way back up my body. And I go to the top of my head where I imagine myself in a ball of energy, um, like a ball of light above my head.
Ooh,
And that light can be any color, whatever color comes to your mind. If I'm meditating, I go on out into the cosmos and through all the planes of existence, keep going, going, going until I get to the space of creator. And then I'm going to a room that is just immediately white, sparkly light. And I'll be there and I can do my best manifesting there. And I just talk to the creator of all that is. And I have all this white light and sparkly, and I'm just immersed. And that's also where I can, from there, look down and see what's going on
ooh,
in my life, or I can connect with other people if I need to. But everything is done and communicated through the creator of all that is. And I let that existence determine what other beings need to come to help me, whether it's angels, spirit guides,
yeah,
elementals, whatever's needed. And
right.
and and then I'm not negotiating with them on another level. I'm negotiating from the highest power there is so that I don't owe anybody anything.
Good.
There's no conditions
Karmic,
on it.
the karmic debt is not there. Right.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then when I'm ready to come back, and sometimes I just come into that ball of light above my head, but otherwise you just come back to that space. You've got that love and light around you from being in creator space. Pull it on down and into your heart space.
Oh,
And that's you're grounded, you've made the connection, you're back, and you're back in your heart space. And anytime I just need a quick grounding, I just heart space down to the earth, back up to the top of my head, so it kind of generates throughout my whole body, and then I go back to my heart space. But so however you do it, whatever your meditation style is, but getting quiet, getting grounded, and then
breathing,
knowing what you want.
breathing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Get grounded with breathing. Yeah.
yes. And so when you're in that quiet space, then you say, you know,
That's the
um,
magic spot, that quiet space. Yeah.
yes, and you just put the energy out there. You can speak it aloud. You can state it in your mind. Excuse me, in your mind,
Or you
or
can
write
write it
it down.
down. Yeah. Hmm.
And I think with knowing what you want or need, or
Highest good.
what is in, yeah, what is in your highest and best,
Yeah.
and ask for these things. Um, this shall be brought into my life. You command it rather than say I need or I want. You
So be
just,
it. So
yeah.
it is. So it is. So it
So it
is.
is.
Yeah.
Yes.
You said that.
Um,
Yeah. Oh
and
no, that's
or I
biggie.
command that this
Yeah.
be brought into my life, and then let it go.
Yes.
Know that there's a purpose behind it. Have your purpose. Why do you need it? To how's it going to better you?
And
And
don't
and
worry
know,
about how.
yeah, don't worry about the how, and
Don't worry about
know
how. Yeah.
that we are all deserving and we have a
Very.
divine right to these things.
Yes.
So,
Yes. Yes.
don't ever be afraid that, well, I don't know if I need this or not, but,
Yeah, you do.
I really do want, yeah, well, sure. But I deserve it and I command to have it in my life. It's going to help me meet my purpose. And,
Have
and
your
then let it
whole.
go.
Yep. Let it go.
And then by recognizing when things start coming to you and saying thank you for it, then you're telling the universe, yes, more. Yes, this is awesome.
Follow up with thank you. Give me another.
Yes.
Give me more. Yeah. Thank you. More, more, more. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, Iris.
Sure.
That was awesome. And that was very helpful.
Awesome.
A lot. That's and a very relatable. That was nice. It was very pleasant.
Cool.
Um, your sister asked a question. What's the difference between a premonition versus manifesting? Would you like to field that one,
uh
or do you want me to?
the a premonition.
Versus
Well,
manifesting.
yeah, for
Let's
me,
look
the
in.
the, the premonition is, first of all, they don't have to be. It doesn't necessarily mean that it will happen. There are different kinds. Some premonitions, I think, are a vision of an alternate timeline.
Yeah. Yes, they are.
And everything is happening at once.
Yes, it is.
Every
Especially
and
right now.
all the options are happening at
Yes,
once.
they are.
And I know Deborah knows that because she experienced that and told us the time that she saw two things happen at the same time, and she's still alive, so we
She
know
does.
which path, we know which timeline
Which
she's on.
which dimension she chose. Yeah,
Yeah,
she saw two versions of a car accident and she's alive. So she chose one that she survived.
right.
So
So you could have, in theory, the day before seen a premonition of this accident
or in
and
the other
gone,
dimension you saw it.
yeah. And so, which were you what you were actually seeing was the other dimension,
Right.
or what you were actually, so there, with everything happening at once, sometimes we get those peeks into other layers of what could be, or actually what already has been.
Iris, take a deep breath, honey. You're really getting in there. Back it up.
Where's that rabbit?
Yeah. You believe the rabbit has got you. You've been, yeah, the white rabbit has you on his trail. You're chasing carrots. Um, I can let me see if I
Yeah,
can sort of summarize what you're saying. A premonition is observing a potential future. Like ours said, it may or may not happen. But a premonition is observing that future. Manifesting is requesting that a particular future occur.
that's
So
a much
one's
shorter, sweeter answer than what I.
you're a former English professor here, honey, just like
Yeah,
you. But honey, we put you out there in the ethers, having you manifest and go to the
that's
God
true.
level. So I'm pretty sure you're not all back yet.
You are so right.
And it is not like we want you to rush back because that is an awesome place to be.
Yeah, you
Stay
are
out,
right. And so
yes,
I didn't
stay
even
out
recognize
there.
that for myself until you said so, but you're right. I'm not all here.
Mm-mm. It's a happy place. Stay as long as you can. Absolutely.
Oh,
Woo!
my thingy's falling.
Yeah, I was gonna say your energy got so darn big you pushed on it.
I know. Oh my God.
Iris
Okay.
is flapping her wings.
All right, wait a minute.
They're out there and they knocked the
Do
curtain
your
down.
thing. I want to do this.
I'll start doing the stage thing. So yeah, so technically, just to be specific and recap, Deborah, yeah, premonition is observing an outcome, manifesting is asking, requesting a certain
Pay
outcome.
no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Pay no attention to the fairy in front of the curtain while she fixes the curtain. And then Janine, you said candle magic. Fire element helps me manifest quickly. Yes, I was talking about that a few minutes ago too. I love using fire and candle magic to manifest, make things move quickly. The nature of fire is that, and all of us that are of the dragon medicine, that enjoys dragon stuff, yes, you know all about fire medicine too, which also includes Native American, such as sweat lodges that uses fire elements to accelerate the process. This goes across cultures. So there's a whole lot of good stuff all woven into there. And there you go. The other side of her curtain did not want to stay. That's in Iris's office. And the Iris blanket, let's see, was a gift from her family, from her daughter and granddaughter and that family. So, yay. Was that a Christmas gift or a birthday? Or, she can't hear me. She
No,
don't have her. Was that a Christmas gift or a birthday or the blanket behind
Christmas.
you?
Christmas.
Oh, this Christmas. Wonderful.
Yes.
And perfect that Iris has irises. They're usually
Yay!
magical flowers. You
My daughter
manifest.
said, yes. My daughter said, she thought I needed a new throw, which was great because I do. Just something to have to cozy up to. My granddaughter was the one who said, you can use it for a backdrop too. And I was like, yay!
How old is she?
13.
Yeah. Lots of the power of youth, they can manifest. Babies manifest the best and the most. Look at what they do. They breathe, they sleep, they swallow, they poop, and that is it. Newborns. They manifest somebody who brings them food, shelter, water, love, attention, education, security, safety, heat, warmth, and eventually experiences, and on and on and on. You want to talk about the little tiny kings and queens of manifesting? Babies and puppies and kittens and baby animals too. So if you want to know who's the king of manifesting, look towards the youth, and the younger you get, the better they are at manifesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So what did you talk about while I was away for a minute there?
I'll just more about what's a premonition and what's manifesting.
Okay. So I want to show this real quick. When you realize you don't actually create abundance, abundance is always present. You just create limitations.
I like that. That is such clarity about the fact that we are creators and we even create our own limits. And I love the sense of humor, but the truth.
Yeah.
It's true. You're creating limits to that abundance.
Right.
And
Because a lot of people are, I'm not worthy. No, you are,
yeah, let's go back to babyhood. Babies manifest everything they need because it's already there. The abundance is already there. As we go on through life, we learn about limitations. And we can unlearn it. We can unlearn it. That's our journey now.
Yeah.
And this is one way to do it.
Yeah. Our thoughts and feelings have an electromagnetic reality. Manifest wisely. Yeah.
Illustration of that. It really is beautiful.
Yeah, he's standing on the hill with all the
Waves.
stuff. Yeah. And we are. I mean, we know we are electromagnetic field because it's been proven.
Documented.
Yeah. Scientifically, science is catching up to what we've known all along, finally. But yes.
In this cycle, yeah, we're remembering stuff that we used to know thousands of years ago.
Yeah. And so we do manifest. And so be careful with your word choices.
And your feelings.
And your feelings.
And your
Yes.
feelings. I can go there just a little bit right now. The number one feeling in our culture is fear right now. And case in point, look how powerful that is. People, their entities, whatever you want to label you want to put on it, that are generating the fear or promoting the fear or want the fear, however you want to, whatever word you want to use, doesn't matter. The ones promulgating this fear, look at what they're manifesting. I mean, it's We can be our own worst enemy. Yeah, because of the limits we put on ourselves. But feelings generate, pardon my French, a shitload of outcome. And fear is a great example of that, just because it's an example that you can see every second, everywhere.
Well, and you hear, fear
social media.
perpetuates fear. You know,
Yes. So it makes it more and more powerful. Yeah. But
yeah,
love perpetuates love as well.
yes.
Common misconception. People think that hate is the opposite of love. It's not. Hate is another version of love. The opposite of love is fear. So your spectrum goes from love to fear. Hate is just another type of love, because in our culture, we don't talk about, document, or have words for all the different types of love that are out there. There
And
are,
you're investing your energy into another person.
right. When you invest your energy in another person, that's such clarity. Thank you, Iris. That was a good one too. That is, you are all the time, all the time. And yeah, that's another, it's just when we experience hate, we resent having that connection, but it's still there. That connection is still the same. Fear is the opposite of love. Yeah.
And also, I'd invite people to, when you hate something, who's it serving?
Always an
Because,
excellent question. Yeah.
yeah, because if you hate somebody else, they could care less. Like, no, they couldn't care less.
I couldn't care.
They couldn't care less. It's not affecting them,
Mm.
and it's just affecting you.
Yeah, all those versions of hate. It's not serving anybody but yourself. You're beating yourself up for somebody else's transgression. And that's always a wise question when you are struggling with your feelings, whether they're hate or love or joy or confusion or anger or whatever. Self-assessment, a good question to step back just a little bit and in your own mind say, oh, wait a minute. What is this feeling serving? Who is this feeling serving? And start managing how you feel from that revelation, whatever the answer is. Yeah.
Yes. And I
Never been.
like this. This kind of goes along with that. Be careful what you tolerate. You are teaching people how to treat you. And it's a form of manifestation.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. What you tolerate is what you will manifest.
Yeah.
And
So,
it's another way to say the exact same package, and that was poetic and on a lot of levels, not just manifesting. Good call, Myris. That was another good.
and a more comedic way of putting it, surround yourself with people who don't make you sage your home after they've left. Yeah. And it's true, they people can bring energy with them. And so, you know, I was it, sort of a combination here. I was telling someone the other day, they were asking, what are you doing for Christmas? And maybe I mentioned this last week, but I said, the STD thing. Yes, I did mention it last week. Socially transmitted disease, because are you wearing protection? Who were you with last time? And is it safe? And can I be with you?
To the last 10 people you were with? I mean,
Right, and that sort of thing.
Socially transmitted disease, right?
Right. But then, and it's sort of the same thing when people come into your home. Not only can they bring disease, they can bring
energy
and
the baggage that comes with it, right?
And I have been in people's homes where they have had certain people in their homes, and they've left and they go, the house just doesn't feel the same. We'll go in with the sage and the cleansing and
the high
get
mind
it out.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
come from heart and wisdom. Do both.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You got a compliment, Margot.
Got a compliment or two. That's very sweet. I know people tend to watch me for the facial and hands. That's just me. You're welcome, Heather. You're welcome. I know a little bit of sign language, just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. Iris knows a lot of sign language. Oops, sorry, wrong way.
Yeah, I used to be an interpreter, but I've forgotten a lot of it. But I mean, I can still have a conversation.
Yeah. You can still talk to people, right?
Yeah, but
But
um,
they appreciate it. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah.
oh, that's a good idea. Angela says I'm working on a blessing sign to hang above my door to wash away people's negative stuffs when they cross the threshold.
Ooh, create a little bit of a filter there. That's very, very nice. An
Yeah,
energetic one.
yeah.
That's always a good thing when you're going out in public, maybe in a dicey situation or a place you're not happy about going into. That you popular Walmart, people freak out about going into Walmarts or ABC stores or whatever because of the energy that's there from previous people that are not necessarily happy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you can create a bubble, a field, and manifest that
Yes.
only good energy touches you and your loved ones and your stuff and your pocketbook and your cart or your purchases or whatever. And create, yeah. And Noelle, what I'm sort of expanding on what Noelle just mentioned, but you can make that portable, is what I'm saying. You can expand that puppy all around your car, all around your bicycle, all around your airplane, all
Around your
around
home, your property.
your television set, your cell phone. Bless
Oh,
it as often
yeah.
as you
Yeah.
can.
The boy in the bubble is not so far fetched.
It's not. You can be an energetic one and function just as well. Um, Heather says, how can you block other people's negative energy? The devices we were just talking about blocks other people's negative energies. That's exactly what it's for. Um, it acts as a filter, is an easy way to say it. Only good stuff comes in, negative stuff bounces off, gets dissipated, or some people witness it actually transforms negative energy into positive. I've had earth-based religion friends that talk about that their bubble filters the negativity and pushes it down into the earth, which acts like a great transformer, a great healer, a great transformer. So
I send any negative energy that I get up to
up,
creator. Send it
up,
up to creator, up and out. Let it, he'll fit. I say he in the sense that I personify it, but the all that is will that it knows
down
what
the
to do with it. Yeah.
right, right. And yeah, it's just your belief system. And since those two belief systems are so closely connected, up or down doesn't matter. It's going to get there.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to get better real fast. For
Yeah.
sure. For sure. They're talking to each other. Janine says, that's true, Angela. Angela says, bless your house and land and simply don't allow it negativity to answer. Her
Yeah.
sign is a notice to others. I used to have a sign by my front door, and I had it for so long it got weather beaten and fallen apart. But I handmade it, and all it said was two words: "Got namaste."
That's cool.
And thank you. And very few people asked me about it. My friends who knew what namaste was, they thought it, like your sign's cool. But total strangers, if they didn't know what it was about, they didn't ask. I always thought that was an interesting social experiment.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
who would ask about what does your sign mean? You would think they would. No, it works. Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
then we are up on 10:40 at night.
I know this really took off, and we appreciate so much the comments and questions and all. But yeah, we need to we need to cut this off because otherwise people won't want to come back because they're going to go, those are too long, and we don't want we don't want that either. Please like, subscribe, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Ice of Indigo podcast. Just Google it and it comes up all over the place.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. And then also join us next week, because next week is January 6th. And yeah, we're going to talk about reveals in movies,
Movie
and
review.
movie reveals, and what does that mean? And if available, Dale Stacy is going to join us. But if he's not, we'll bring him on later, because he's got some more kind of behind the scenes, more in depth. Yeah,
Related
but
to that reveal stuff.
yes, but we're definitely going to talk about things that the movies reveal to us that we may or may not realize. So thank you all so much for coming, and we
You're
appreciate the
welcome.
comments and the compliments and
Thank you. Yeah,
just being here. Thank you.
you're
Thank you
welcome.
so much, and thank you,
Um,
Margot.
You're welcome, Iris. Thank you for your wisdoms tonight.
Yes. Oh, hey, you're always. Thank you.
We love you guys.
Good night.